My covenant of love with the Blessed Mother. It has to do with the heart. It has to do with confidence. And it has to do with continuing to understand and to deepen your understanding and my understanding of the covenant of love. First of all, I think that the Schoenstatt movement is the perfect antidote of the darkness that envelops the world today. Because, and I think it was Father Kentenich that said this, the church must beat again with a Marian heart. Why would he say that? Why would I say that? Because a Marian heart is a Eucharistic heart. The Father willed it so that his very own heart, his Son, would be formed beneath the heart of a mother, beneath the heart of a woman, so that the Eucharistic heart that was formed there would become one with the heart of this woman. The woman of the ages, the woman of Genesis, the woman of Cana, the woman who stood beneath the cross at Calvary, the woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. This woman, her heart would become one with the heart of the one that she formed in her womb. And it is like that for us as well, that our hearts be formed and become one with the heart of this mother who forms us beneath her heart and envelops us in her heart, so that the two hearts, your heart, my heart, and her heart, may beat as one. This is the essence of love, this self-gift that we make of ourselves, that is that same self-gift that the mother made of herself when she spoke her fiat to the angel. We're going to, some of us, make our consecrations, make our covenants of love. Some renew it. So I think that it's very good to understand where that covenant arises from. It arises from the heart of Jesus, the heart of his mother. And it takes us into their hearts. There is a lesson to be learned as well in this covenant of love that I learned, and that is that word confidence, a childlike disposition before the Father, the childlike heart, the heart of the founder of the covenant of love, Father Kentenich. Many years ago, when I first came to Schoenstatt in Lamar, Sister Philomena was there, and I remember one day I had spent much time in the shrine, and I was struggling with a problem that I had. And Sister Philomena was in her little store that she had opened, making various artifacts and things to give to the pilgrims. And I went to see her, and I began to complain to her about the difficulty that I was having. And in the course of about 2 minutes, she gave me a homily on confidence. She used the word maybe 40 times within this 2 minutes. Then she said to me, she said, now you go to that shrine there and you kneel and you ask for the grace of confidence. And I said, but Mother, Sister, I just came from there. She said, you go back. So I did. I went back. And it was while I was kneeling there that it dawned on me that the shrine itself was called confidencia, trust, the Latin word for trust. I have to learn to trust in Mary, in the MTA, the Mother Thrice Admirable. But it takes a while for us to totally, completely, if we ever understand what that trust looks like. Because it was quite a number of years later, I was down for a retreat, and my retreat master usually was Sister Daniela. And I was complaining to her again, I can't do this, I can't do this, I cannot do this, I've been trying, but I... And then she, in her German accent, said, there's too much I in there. It's not all about you. It's about trust and confidence, again, in the Mother and her Son Jesus. And then she told me the story about how she had learned that same lesson from Father Joseph Kentenich while he was in Milwaukee. He wasn't supposed to have any connection with his sisters, but she found out that on an afternoon he would walk in front of the church saying his breviary or saying his rosary. And so she went up to him one day and asked if she could talk to him. And he said, well, I cannot have anything to do with my sisters, but I cannot also be uncharitable and refuse to talk to you. So she took that opportunity on several occasions to speak to him about her own spiritual life. I hope I'm not telling a secret that she didn't want out. But she also was talking to Father Kentenich about how she could not conquer this particular problem that she was having. And she was saying, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. And he said, finally, Father Kentenich said, finally, we finally come to the understanding you can't do it by yourself. That, I think, is a very important lesson to be learned for all of us as you consider your own covenant of love. The fact that there's an antipendium.
It's right there.
But it's
in front of that jar.
The nothing without you?
Nix ohne dich, nix ohne mich.
Yeah.
You know, it takes to both the heart of the son, the heart of the daughter, and the heart of the mother together. Finally, I do not think that any of us understand and take the covenant that we make in the same way, to the same depth that the mother with whom we make this covenant does. And I'm going to share with you a personal experience that spoke to me very powerfully about this very thing. It used to be that I was employed as a salesperson and I would travel the southern part of the state of Texas. And I would come home on a Friday night and I was tired from being out on the road. And this one particular Friday night, I sat down in my easy chair and I thought, I'm going to get some just rest and get the road out of my system. And the phone rang. And someone called me and said they had a particular concern, and they began to talk to me. Now this happened quite a number of times on Friday evenings when I'd get back from my work out on the road traveling. But this particular Friday night, I was very tired. And I wanted peace and quiet, and the phone rang. But after a while, I understood why the person was calling me. And so after about 30 minutes, the phone hung up the phone, and I said, ring! The phone rang again. And again, someone wished to talk to me. This happened about 4 or 5 times that evening until about 9:30 in the evening. Finally, the phone could ring. And then in my head, I began to say to myself and to my wife, who was sitting there watching me, saying, my time is not my own. My time is not my own. And I don't know how often that just came running through my head, that my time is not my own. So finally I went to bed that evening, and the last thing that I remember thinking as I fell asleep was, my time is not my own. I woke up the next morning. Guess what was on my mind as I woke up? My time is not my own. And I got dressed, took a shower, got dressed, and I walked into my office. I was going to say my prayers that morning. And I stood before my desk, and the picture of the Mother Thrice Admirable right there in the crucifix. And I was looking at that, and I was saying, my time is not my own. And then from nowhere, without a sound, but the voice is still deeply imprinted in my mind. You say that as a complaint. I say that as a fact. That's important to remember. I took that to mean that I hadn't realized that every part of my being, everything I did, every person that I spoke to, all had been given to the Blessed Mother. And my time was not my own anymore, nor is it today. She takes that covenant that we make with her a lot more profoundly and deeply than we could ever imagine. And that for each and every one of us, our covenant of love is not taken only once, but it is again and again repeated daily in our life until our very last breath. You and I know our covenant in an instrument that is affected by sin. She receives that covenant and wraps it in her heart, which is the Immaculate Heart, and presents that covenant, our gift of self, to her Son. She is indeed a beautiful mother, our Mother Thrice Admirable.